Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lenox Justifier of Innocence, created by Zeus and Demeter to save humanity. I am here as the character Josephine, and with me today is Mr. Buddy, the guard dog. Now before we get started, I did just want to say a few things. So for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. This is a fantasy justice channel where superheroes and mythological gods unite in the fight to save humanity, to restore the balance of good and evil. Most of the stories are based on real-world occurrences, and some of the subjects are sensitive in nature, so I do want to forewarn you on that. Though the stories are loosely based on true events, we change the names and the places in which these events have occurred in order to protect the identities of those involved. For those of you who are returning back to the channel, thank you and welcome back. I hope that you guys have all had an amazing holiday weekend and that your Halloween was full of a lot of fun, and hopefully your kids got all the candy they needed. Well, not needed, but all the candy they wanted, and were able to have a little bit of Halloween fun as well. We had just finished an episode for Mr. Buddy, and he went trick-or-treating with all of his friends, so hopefully you got to see that. It was very cute, and of course we ended it with some new music. This week we're going to be doing another episode, and that is going to complete enough songs so that I can put together a little album for you guys. So I'm going to put together a playlist of his music so that you can download for your kiddos. And that is going to be complimentary. There will be no charge for that. You can just download it for your kiddos and enjoy it. Let them enjoy listening to the music and singing along, as well as watching the episodes online. We are eventually going to put all of his episodes on just strictly on his channel, which is titled Mr. Buddy and Friends. And that is for kids, though adults are welcome to enjoy it as well. Now we're going to get started with today's story. Enjoy the show, guys. So to recap a little bit, we had left off when Jojo had gone to a party at the soccer coach's house with the boys from the soccer team and her boyfriend, Mason. So that is where we're going to start. Before leaving the party, Jojo had noticed some bizarre behavior from the coach and the tension between him and the boys. Monday morning came along, and Mason was ignoring Jojo. He avoided her in the lobby while they waited for homeroom to start. That's odd, she thought. She didn't hear from him at all the rest of the weekend after that party, and now avoidance. She attempted to make her way over to him, but she was derailed by two of his best buddies. Jojo was never one for games, always a straight shooter. If something is amiss, then discussions have to happen in order to clear the air. Distracted all day by what was happening, she could barely concentrate in her classes. Did something happen after she left the party? Her mind was going into dark places. If the coach did something, she was going to take him down. At lunch, she overheard some of the kids talking about the party. She listened and then chimed in, stating that she was there, but had left shortly after the card game because things were getting a little bit too weird for her. They proceeded to fill her in. All rumors and speculations at this point, but it certainly had elements of truth. Rumors circulated rapidly throughout the school. Rumors that implicated inappropriate touching, drugging, and inappropriate touching of the top 3 players in particular. Could that be why Mason is avoiding her? Shame? Embarrassment? If he hurt them, we're going to make him pay. Jojo went straight to Mason, demanding that they speak now. Timid and reluctant, he went. Jojo first told Mason how much she cared about him, and then began to address his behavior towards her. His face was red, and his eyes filled up with tears. He said he just didn't feel the same about her anymore, and wanted to break up. She continued to press him about the rumors, but he denied everything. And then he said that the coach was right about her. She was an unnecessary distraction and not good enough for Mason. That's weird, she thought. She was a straight A student, the homecoming queen, on the student council, and that's not good enough? It sounds to me like that is words of a jealous lover, not of a concerned coach. You don't know what you're talking about, Mason replied. Jojo then flat out asked Mason if the coach had touched him inappropriately. Mason was furious, lashing out at Jojo, calling her names, insulting her in unimaginable ways. Jojo, silent, just observed his behavior. She knew she got something right about the coach, and she was going to prove it. After school, on her way to practice, his two buddies attempted damage control, saying Mason was sorry about how he reacted, and then proceeded to beg her not to tell anybody about the party. What's to tell? She asked. The alcohol? The coach's behavior? What happened after I left? She pressed them for answers. Denial, denial. And then Chris let something slip. Something about a video. Amir quickly told Chris to be quiet, but Jojo heard what he had said. There was a videotape, and she was going to find it. On her way to practice, the coach had noticed the intense conversations that she was having with the two boys, so he asked her if everything was okay. She replied that everything was fine. She did not have the confidence in her own soccer coach to confide in him about what her suspicions were, when at the time they were still just speculation and rumors. And she also believed that they would stick together, both being soccer coaches. Jojo couldn't sleep. She kept going back and forth in her mind. Should she speak up? She wanted to tell, but she didn't want to come off like a rat or a jilted girlfriend. But yet, if he was hurting these boys, she needed to do something about it. But she just didn't know what or how to go about it. The next day in English class, the coach kept calling on Jojo to answer questions on the assignment. He would ask her in a very menacing tone, and he was trying to trip her up with trick questions so that he could humiliate her in front of the entire class. But Jojo was too smart for his antics. She knew the material inside and out, and when he couldn't trip her up, he proceeded to make snarky comments about Little Miss Perfect, and the class snickered. Jojo, not even thinking, blurted out, "Oh, sorry. I know you favor fatherless little boys, like the ones you had stay at your house." The classroom got silent, with just a few gasps and some exchanging of startled looks. The predator had revealed himself in his eyes. He turned red in the face. His blue eyes grew large and black. He approached her desk and he punched it. The class jumped, but still not saying a word. Jojo, she didn't flinch. He whispered to her, "You better shut your pretty little mouth or I'm going to make your life miserable." Jojo was not one to stand for being intimidated. This only confirmed her suspicions and all the rumors. She looked at him without blinking and smiled. Jojo was pissed. This monster is going to go down. Over the next few weeks, Jojo continued to observe the coach, and she asked as many questions as she could to anyone who was friends with the boys' soccer team, and to try to find out if any of them had gone to the parties. But no one outside the soccer team were invited or allowed to attend anymore. Mason began to act like a completely different person. He was avoiding Jojo and hooking up with random different girls every single week. His grades began to slip, and he was off his game on the field. And the coach was furious about it. He started to yell at Mason berating him in front of his team, the parents, and staff. And yet no one said a word. Mason was made to look like a screw-up and ungrateful for the opportunity that coach had given him. If he did not pass the midterm, he would not be allowed to play at Saturday's game, which was the first game of the playoffs, and scouts would be at attendance. This infuriated JoJo, and she could not stay silent anymore. Though her and Mason were no longer together, she still cared about him very much, and she didn't want him to lose opportunities in which he worked so hard to earn because of what this monster has done. She revealed to her shop teacher, Mr. F, in which she trusted, on what her suspicions were. Mr. F took her concerns very seriously, and he said he was going to begin to look into it, but he would be as discreet as possible. He was able to get a couple of the boys to confide in him. One of them said that he had videotapes and he knew where he kept them. Mr. F decided that it would be best to get the tapes and then alert the police. With the two boys' testimony and the video to back it up, he believed it would be enough probable cause to arrest the coach. But keep it quiet. Do not alert him. But unfortunately, one of the other teachers overheard them speaking, and she approached the coach, appalled by the unjust accusations. A fool she was, and it resulted in the coach frantically searching for the tapes so that he can dispose of the evidence. But it was too late. The boys had snuck into his classroom during homeroom, and they removed the tapes. The boys had immediately turned the tape into Mr. F. JoJo watched as everyone's hero coach, favorite teacher, scrambled, tearing his desk apart, while the class was talking and goofing around, completely unaware of what was about to go down. JoJo could not wait to see him walked out in handcuffs. And then he left the classroom, to never be seen again. He ran. That Monday, the papers broke the story, with his picture large on the front page, a fugitive on the run. The rest of the soccer season was canceled. In light of the situation they could not see going on, JoJo was not going to have that. The boys have suffered enough, and this man needs to be brought to justice. The boys will not have their hard work on that field have been in vain. They deserve to go through the championships and have a chance at winning, she thought. And then she remembered Lenox, Justifier of Innocence. She had helped her take down that doctor when he was conducting a human transport ring. After school, she went straight to the sanctuary. There she met Amalia. "Oh my, you're so grown up," Amalia said to JoJo. She was so happy to see her. But JoJo replied, "I'm happy to see you too, but unfortunately, this is not a social call. I need your help, and I need to talk to Lenox." Amalia replied, "No problem. I will get you in touch with Lenox, but tell me a little bit about what's going on and see if I can get started on helping you." JoJo began to tell Amalia the story when Lenox appeared. "Don't worry, JoJo. We are going to bring this man to justice. Give me all the details you have. I'm going to need to see the evidence, and we're going to find him." So that is going to conclude today's episode. Now you want to make sure you come back for the next video. We are going to be going into the fantasy justice part of it, and that's the fun part. So as you can see, I don't know if you can tell with the green screens and everything, but you know, with the backdrops, but I am working out of a new studio space, hoping that the acoustics here are a little bit better so that the sound quality will be better. It's a little bit more roomy so that I can move around, and me and my volunteer actors can do a little bit more fight scenes and more interactive scenes to keep it lively and more fun. So you'll have that to look forward to. So as I finish constructing everything and putting everything together, we are going to be a little bit more elaborate in our production. So that should be a lot of fun and give you something to look forward to. So for those of you who are new to the channel, when we get these true stories, what I do is I go through the entire backstory as accurately as I can by the accounts of the person who requested it, and research and whatever information that I'm able to find. So I do change, like I said, I changed the names and so forth so that we can protect the identities of anybody who was involved. And then we tell their story and then try to bring some lightness to it by getting some fantasy justice for them. So if you have any requests, or if something has happened to you and you would like a fantasy justice story written for you, just let me know. You can email me. The information is below in the description. So you can send me an email and I'll be more than happy to put together a story just for you. You want to give me as much detail as possible and a little bit of direction as to where to find the information. I'm pretty good at finding information. If you can provide whatever information that you have on the subject, it'll make it easier, and then I can put that story together for you and get you some fantasy justice. So we will see you in a few days. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I am going to try to put a video out over the weekend. I'm going to see how it goes in here with the construction and soundproofing and so forth of the new studio space. So that should be a lot of fun. And I'm also finishing up the Lenox costume. Now I've talked about it for a little bit. I have almost everything. I do have everything I need. I just have to finish putting it all together. So the new corset is done. I just have to put all the embellishments on it, and I got some different material to make the masks so that they fit better, and are not just more comfortable for us, but they'll look better and more visually appealing for you guys who are watching. And so that's something to look forward to as well. So we will see you in a few days. I hope you enjoyed everything. And for those of you who are new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed the content. And we will see you soon. God bless.